Hi, this is Enhance Your Beauty with Eileen, and I am Eileen. I am going to work on enhancing your eyes today. Number one, you want to start by putting a little drop in your eye. I personally like this stuff. It's called Retain. And it's just in like a drop form, and you can just buy it anywhere. And I use them several times a day because no matter how much you can doll up your eyes, if they're red or tired looking, it doesn't matter what you do. They're not going to look particularly good. So I do use this stuff probably 3-4 times a day, just a drop in each eye, and it just keeps them lubricated. And you can buy them over the counter. It's not a prescription item. The next thing I wanted to start with would be, it is called Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer, and it's by Charlotte Tilbury, a British woman. Doesn't that sound like a British name, Charlotte? Yes. It's like a shadow or something, and I don't like it. So that's number one, is I will use Charlotte Tilbury to get me through my under eyes. Then I really like, so Laura Geller has a very nice, it's called Seamless Finish Full Coverage Concealer. I use light because I'm light. And I just dab a little bit. I'm using an additional mirror because really I'm a little blind without glasses, and putting eye makeup on with glasses, not so easy. So I do this, and look how bright I've suddenly made my eyes. The next thing, if there's one thing you want to do, I believe, when you're working on your eyes and you're on the mature side, I am, you want to keep it light. You don't want it really heavy, ever. And you never, ever, ever want to put eyeliner or mascara on the bottom. You want the eye to, another person's eye, to look at your eyes, not your under eyes, because, honey, they're never good at this age. I don't care what anybody says. So you want to keep the focus on the top. Well, another thing I do, which this is where I use a teeny weeny bit of powder, a little bit. And I'm going to go into my little, well, this is where I do use a little brush, where I put the concealer. And I happen to, and sometimes my age group, you never, I repeat, never use liquid eyeliner. It was great in high school. It was fabulous. When you're no longer in high school and you're several decades beyond high school, like 5, you might very well want to use, I use NYX, and it's just like a dark brown. I just happen to think it's a much softer look. And, you know, depending upon, you know, your own coloring, you can decide never use anything shiny. Oh, that's true of the, I'm going to put on this lovely eyeliner that really is nice, and you don't want to pull up the side, because the side of your eyes while you're doing this. You want to do it in such a way where it's the natural line, because if you start doing this stuff and then you take your hand off, it's like it's in the wrong place. So you don't want to do that. So I'm on to the next eye, and if the pencil does not come off I feel as though this pencil's going to break, but oh boy, I think this is really going to fall out. I do a drop just right in the corner there, right in the corner. But I do not line underneath. No, never. Okay, enough with that. I don't really have eyebrows. I never really had eyebrows. They were just not something I had in my life. But I can draw them. And if you don't have the eyebrows of Brooke Shields, keep it low. And since I don't, and I'm never gonna, I have to work with what I have. Don't ever work with what you think someone else has. Work with what you have. I guarantee you have fabulous qualities, and you can make yourself stunning. But don't try to look like A, someone 30 years younger, or B, like someone else. No, you create your own look. Moving right along. So I'm going to go to I'm seeing like a gray hair there. And sometimes you have to shake the thing just a little more, just to wake it up. Sometimes you need to pat it because a little too much comes out. So you have to really be careful with these pens. You don't want them to look like a Sharpie on your face. So I just kind of very carefully draw it on. Voila. But in order to soften it up a little bit, because a pen is a pen, period, you do want to soften it up with like a little brush. Bring it down, and it's pretty good. It works pretty well. The next thing is mascara. Again, no mascara on the bottom. I know it's tempting. I do. Don't do it. I like an eyelash curler. You know, I'd gotten this, I think, from like Temu when it was cheap, and it didn't require those rubber things, and it just kind of does it on its own. Well, I hope it never dies. So I just take the top and I just use this for like, I count 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And I do have several different mascaras, but you know, sometimes things from high school are not that bad. And Maybelline I've always had a soft spot for Maybelline mascara. This is where I do use black. You don't have to. If you're very light and you prefer to use like a dark brown, that's fine. I really date myself. Anyhow, so I'm going to take that wonderful wand of that mascara, and I'm just going to give it a little whoosh over my, now, you don't want eyelashes to look unnatural. You don't want blobs of mascara on your eyes. You want it to just enhance what you have. I'm not a great fan, personally, this is just very personal, I'm not a great fan of fake eyelashes because they look so fake. And I'd rather work, as I said before, with what I've got. And what I've got is the eyelash curler again. And I'm going to put it on the other eye, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. And mascara. Now you can go over it, certainly, a second time. What I personally like to do is if I need it a second round, I do the other eye and let the first one dry a little bit, and then I just put it back in, and I just do it very lightly. You do not want those god-awful blobs, but if you get blobs, there is something you can use, but you've got to be unbelievably careful. You don't want to poke out your eye. I mean, this is like a big deal. Maybe I shouldn't show you. I'll show you. It's this thing, and it's like a comb. You can get this anywhere. Are a little bit shaky, don't use it. Doesn't pay. Take the mascara off. Don't do it. Oh, my mirror just decided to say goodbye. And now I'm going to go on the other eye. And that's that. Now, this is my little secret. Yeah, you might know it. But I'm going to show it to you anyway, just lest you forget. This is, it's actually, you can get any of it. I mean, this is like, this one happens to be by a British company called Revolution, but you can get whatever you want. But it's like a light fleshy color, and it just goes right under the eye, like in the watermark. And all it does, again, don't poke your eye out. You just pull your bottom lid down, your bottom lash down, and you just, now, don't my eyes look brighter just from that? I would say yes. And last but not least, another little weapon I've got here. It's called Lumify. And it is not, this is not for lubricating your eyes. All this does is it takes the red out. I would use both things, because one of them actually works to lubricate, and the Lumify works to just brighten up your eye inside.